May-June 2020, Paper 2, Extended. Question 1. Write down the order of rotational symmetry of the diagram. So, to solve this question, basically you need tracing paper. So you have to draw this diagram on the tracing paper. Then once you have it drawn, you may need to rotate the tracing paper. So every time you rotate the tracing paper and the diagram that's drawn on the tracing paper matches exactly the diagram that's drawn for you on the exam paper, then you count one order of rotational symmetry. So that's the whole concept of this question. So if you rotate this diagram 180 degrees, you will get one order of rotational symmetry. If you rotate it another 180 degrees, so in total 360 degrees, you will get another order of rotational symmetry. So the total is 2 order of rotational symmetry. In question 2, it says at noon the temperature was 21 degrees Celsius. At midnight the temperature had fallen by 26 degrees Celsius. Work out the temperature at midnight. So initially the temperature was 21. Then at midnight it had fallen. So had fallen means minus. So it had fallen by 26 degrees Celsius, so minus 26 degrees Celsius. So 21 minus 26 is negative 5 degrees Celsius. So the temperature at midnight is negative 5. Question 3. So we're given that AB is equal to BC and ABD is a straight line. Find the value of x. Now, since AB is equal to BC, then triangle ABC is an isosceles triangle. So by isosceles triangle, I mean that if the angle at C is x, then the angle at A is x too. Now, since ABD is a straight line, then the angle at B is 180 minus 50 degrees, which is equal to 130 degrees. Now, since ABC is a triangle, if I add up all the interior angles of this triangle, the answer is 180 degrees. So if I add up the angle at B, which is 130, plus the angle at C, which is x, plus the angle at A, which is x, the answer should be equal to 180 degrees. So 130 plus 2x is equal to 180. So I need to shift 130 to the right. So 2x is 180 minus 130, which is 50. So to find x, I need to divide the left-hand side by 2 and the right-hand side by 2. So x is 50 over 2, which is 25 degrees. So that was question 3. Now, question 4. So this is a simple and straightforward question. So in part A, we need to write down a square number greater than 10. So let's recall a square number is the result of multiplying a number by itself. So if you multiply 2 times 2, the answer is 4. So 4 is a square number. If you multiply 3 times 3, the answer is 9. So 9 is a square number. However, I can't write down 9 because 9 is smaller than 10. And the question says, write down a square number greater than 10. So if I choose 4, so 4 times 4 is 16, so 16 is a square number. So 16 is one answer to this part. Now we can choose 25 because 5 times 5 is 25. You can choose 36 because 6 times 6 is 36. So this question has many answers. Now in part B, you need to write down an irrational number. Now an irrational number is a number that can't be written as a fraction. Now the most common irrational number is pi. So I'm gonna write down pi. Now you can write down any irrational number as long as the number that you're writing is or can't be expressed as a fraction. So pi is one of these answers. Now question 5. We're given an equation which is y equals mx plus c, and by the way, this equation is the equation of a straight line. So m is the gradient and c is the y-intercept. But in this question, we're not asked about the gradient or the y-intercept. So this is an algebra question. So we are asked to find the value of y when m is -3, x is -2, and c is -8. So here it's a matter of substitution. So y is equal to m, which is -3, times x, which is -2, plus c, which is -8. So plus -8. Now -3 times -2 is 6, positive 6, plus -8. Now plus minus is minus, so it's 6 minus 8, so y is -2. Question 6. So this diagram is a trapezium, and we are asked to find the area of the trapezium. Now, the area of the trapezium A is equal to half times A plus B times the vertical height. Now 7 is A, 5 centimeters is the vertical height, and 11 is B. So the area is half times A plus B, which is 11 plus 7, times 5, which is the vertical height. So this is equal to half times 11 plus 7, which is 18, times 5. So half times 18 times 5 is 45 centimeters squared. Great. Now, in question 7, we are given a Venn diagram, and we are asked to shape the region A intersection B. So A intersection B, intersection means the common part. So the common part for the two sets A and B is the area in between, which is the area that I'm shading right now. Now, in question 8, we are asked to write 2 to the power of -4 as a decimal. So the idea here is that we need first to convert 2 to the power of -4 to a fraction, and then after that we need to convert the fraction that we get to a decimal number. So how can I write 2 to the power of -4 as a fraction? Now 2 to the power of -4 is the same as 1 over 2 to the power of 4, according to the rules of indices. And 1 over 2 to the power of 4 is 1 over 16, because 2 to the power of 4 is 16. So we got a fraction. Now, how should we, or how can we convert 1 over 16 to a decimal number? Simply by long division. So let's do that. So 1 over 16. Now, the thing here is that we can't divide 1 by 16 because 1 is smaller than 16. So I need to add a 0. Now, once I add a 0, I need to add a 0 with a decimal point. Now again, 10 by 16 is impossible because 10 is smaller than 16. So I need to add another 0, and I need to add here again another 0. Now 100 by 16. So we need to find a number. When I multiply it by 16, the answer is 100. Now, I don't have that number because there is no number exists in a way that if I multiply it by 16, the answer is 100. So I need to think of a number that will give me a number that is closest to 100. And that number is 6, because 6 times 16 is 96. And now I can subtract. 100 minus 96 is 4. Again, 4 can't be divided by 16, so I need to add a 0. Now, a number, when I multiply it by 16, the answer is 40. I don't have that number, but the closest to 40 is 32, which is 2 times 16. So 2 times 16 is 32, and I subtract. 4 minus 32 is 8. Again, I can't divide 8 by 16, so I need to add a 0. And 8 divided by 16 is simply 5, because 5 times 16 will give me exactly 80. And I subtract, so the remainder here is 0. So 1 over 16 is simply 0.0625. So that's the final answer. Now, question 9. So this question is about bearings. So the bearing of B from A is 105. I need to find the bearing of A from B. So we're given that the bearing of B from A. So from A means I have to go to A, and from the north sign or the north line, I need to move in a clockwise direction until I meet the line connecting A and B. And that's the bearing, which is 105. Now to find the bearing of A from B, so from B means I have to go to B. And from the north sign, I need to move in a clockwise direction until I meet the line connecting A and B. So that's the bearing, and I'm calling it X. Now, how can I find X? Now, since we are given 2 parallel lines, which are the 2 north lines, the angle 105 degrees and the angle here, I'm going to call it Y, lie on the same side. So since they lie on the same side, these are called allied angles. And according to the rules of parallel lines, whenever I have 2 parallel lines and 2 angles that lie on the same side, these angles add up to 180 degrees. So if I add up 105 plus Y, the answer is 180. So Y is basically 180 minus 105, which is equal to 75 degrees. However, now 75 is not the bearing, it's Y. Now to find the bearing, which is X, now since point B, and this is the north sign, now if I go around point B, so from this point back to the north line, so this is a full turn angle, and it adds up to 360 degrees. So if I say that Y plus X, these 2 angles form a full turn angle. So Y, which is 75, plus X, which is the bearing I'm finding, add up to 360 degrees. So what's X? X is 360 minus 75, which is equal to 285 degrees. So that's X, and X here is the bearing of A from B. So the correct answer is 285 degrees. Great. Now let's do question 10. We're given 2 algebraic fractions, and I need to simplify these 2 fractions. So the idea here is that I need to multiply the numerators and divide the answer by the result of multiplying the denominators. So here, p times 4pq is 4p squared q, divided by 2q times t is 2qt. Now let's simplify. I have q in the numerator and q in the denominator, so q cancels out with the q here. I have 4 over 2, so 2 over 2 is 1, and 4 over 2 is 2. So what's left is 2p squared divided by t. So the answer is 2p squared over t. Now, in question 11, so it says, without using a calculator, work out 1 and 3 over 4 minus 11 over 12. You must show all your working and give your answer as a fraction in its simplest form. So now, clearly, you're going to lose all the points if you're going to use a calculator, because the question mentions that you're not allowed to use a calculator. So you need to do it manually. Now, I have 1 and 3 over 4, and 1 and 3 over 4 is a mixed number, or a mixed fraction. So the first step is that I need to convert the mixed number or the mixed fraction into a normal fraction. And how do we do that? So I need to multiply 4 times 1 and add the numerator, which is 3, all of it divided by 4, which is the denominator, minus 11 over 12. So 4 times 1 is 4, plus 3 is 7, so 7 over 4 minus 11 over 12. Now, when we want to add or subtract fractions, we need to make sure that the denominator is the same. So I need to multiply 4 times 3 and 7 times 3. So 7 times 3 is 21 over 12 minus 11 over 12. And the answer is 10 divided by 12. Now, if you leave your answer as 10 over 12, you will lose 1 point, because 10 over 12 is not the simplest form that you can get. If you divide 10 by 2, you will get 5, and if you divide 12 by 2, you will get 6. So the final answer is 5 over 6. So that was question 11. Now, question 12. So, in question 12, so this is a percentage change question. So it says Roberto buys a toy for $5. He then sells it for $4.6. Calculate his percentage loss. So percentage loss, so loss means change. So the percentage change formula is the final price minus the old price over the old price times 100. And in this case, it's a loss. So the percentage loss is the final price, which is the selling price, and it's 4.6, minus the old price, which is the cost price, and it's 5, divided by the old price, which is 5 times 100. So this is equal to 4.6 minus 5 is negative 0.4, divided by 5 times 100, and the answer is negative 8. So that's the percentage loss. Now, when you want to write your answer, you don't write your answer including the negative sign, because saying percentage loss indicates the negative sign. So when you say the percentage loss, you say it as 8%, not negative 8%. So the final answer here is 8%. So the percentage loss is 8%.